turning your pain into purpose is such a divine part of your spiritual journey and how you become more spiritual within yourself. Hey you, hola, wagwan, Dave and Dave, you beautiful beings. Welcome back to the INNERVERSES podcast, YouTube channel, wherever and however you are watching or listening to this. Welcome back. And if you're already part of the tribe, welcome back, honeys. And if you are new, join the tribe. This is your home for spiritual and mental wellness, empowering you to wholly be at the center of your universe. And we do that through the power of hypnotherapy, spiritual and trauma-informed therapies, psychic mediumship, and spiritual empowerment for your mind, body, spirit. So connecting you to higher realms and high vibes all across the board. If this is the first time we're meeting, I'm Patience. I'm a multi-hyphenated spiritual goddess on a mission to support you mastering yourself and nurturing the longest relationship which you will ever have, and that is the one with yourself, boo there. So get ready to snuggle up because you belong here in this cozy corner of the Innerverse. Okay, so today our gatherings theme, today we're going to be talking about how do you start your spiritual journey, and also how do you become a spiritual person? What does that even look like? You know, a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm spiritual, but it's like, what's that? What does that mean? So if that's you, if you're haven't started your journey yet, if you're on it, wherever you are, this video will be really, really valuable. And also, again, this is a two-way communication. So please feel free to reach out, to comment, to like, subscribe, and let's get this message spread wild and fast. So back to the message at hand. So how do you become spiritual, and how do you even start your journey? The first thing being, and this is newsflash, you're already spiritual. You're already a spiritual being by the simple fact that you are an energetic being. The fact that you can sense energies, you can walk into a room and you can be like, oh, the energy, something is off. Even if you're talking about, oh, that person's vibe was just off. We use frequency, energy, vibration, vibe. We have so many different words that we've put onto what we naturally are and how we express ourselves. So babe, they, them, baby, come closer. You're already spiritual. That's where we first start, is know that you are actually already on the journey. You are just late to the party. Not even late because you're right on time, you're just awakening to it. So let's get into actually how do you define spirituality. So defining spirituality is all about awareness. So let's start with a definition for spirituality. The beauty is that you get to define what that is. That is the definition, is you get to define what it is, however and whenever, because as you're evolving, as you're changing your definitions, how you connect, how you relate to your spiritual grounding practices is going to evolve and change. So you get to switch it up and define it for how and whenever, however you want it to be. Awareness is the key, and it's awareness of self. That is so important. Right at the root of spirituality is the awareness of you, the awareness of self, the awareness of what even self is. Now think about it, and I'm gonna pose this question to you, is outside of your name, outside of your career, outside of your vocation, outside of your role to other people, who are you? And ask yourself, who am I? And when you really not try to quickly answer it, but just letting that question sit with you, is who am I? And that, my beautiful tribe members, is how you begin to really connect intentionally, rediscovering who you are. And as you're discovering who you are, your awareness will bring you to the fact that you've been on this journey. You've actually always been on this spiritual journey. You are just awakening to it, and it's right on time. because you are now ready to intentionally rediscover and remember who you are, why you even came into this lifetime, what the purpose is, but most importantly is that you are a spiritual being. And the fundamental question of who am I is so key. And when I had to really dig deep within myself, and this is a question I ask myself continuously, because again, we are, as part of our human experience, we find security and safety in what we know and comfortability. So I will describe myself as, I'm a sister, I am a friend, I'm an auntie, I'm a hypnotherapist, I am the goddess and chief of the INNERVERSES, I'm this, I'm this, I'm that. And it's like, actually, but that's how I show up in the world. That's what I do. Who am I outside of all of that when I am late at night in my bed just with my thoughts? When I'm waking up in the morning, breath is still stinking. Looking in the mirror, who is that? And even deeper, who am I outside of my body? Because this is a vessel. This is my temple. Is similar to a car. I have a car. I am not the car. I will go into my car and it will help, and I will drive all over, and I'm in charge of it, of how fast it goes and everything. But however, I am not the car. It's the same way that you can think of spirituality or deepening the question of who am I, is who are you, not only so on the external level, who are you outside of your roles and how you show up in the world. Okay, deep into your body, who are you away and outside of your body? And actually, let's say, who are you within your body? Because your body is a vessel to your energetic being, your spiritual essence. The gut feelings, the knowing, the synchronicities, all those things are all part of that spirit, that core, the untouched, the majestic, sovereign part of yourself that is here to experience what you wanted to experience. But that goes into like spiritual contracts, which is a whole other video. Back to who are you? Who am I? Ask yourself that question throughout different points in your journey. And I would even recommend asking yourself that for the next 30 days and really monitoring what comes up. Write it down, because if we don't write it down a lot of the times, whether that's in a journal, on your phone, or you want to voice record it, or even do like a video like this, write it, express it externally in some way and record it, because I can bet you your answer today, because your body, your mind is going to go straight into, well, I know who I am. I am this, and it'll go into all the external ways that you show up. Or you might also, as you're listening to them, you might also actually be the person that is like, I don't know who I am and I want to know. So allow yourself that curiosity to discover the answers to that question, and allow yourself the grace and the compassion for that to continuously evolve, because it will be evolving, and goddamn, does it evolve? You keep meeting new versions of yourself. I was like, who's that? Who is that? Oh, it's me? What? Oh, okay. So who am I? Question, answer. Oh. And you will go through these moments. It's so normal. It's so natural to go through these moments of like, I don't know who I am in this moment right now. I don't know. I'm going through a shift, but who is this? Who this? As I'm saying this right now, I just recently went through that moment. I might still be going through it. I might still be on the back end of it, because the more I am doing this work and showing up and helping people, the more I'm discovering more and more about myself, because that is part of my purpose. That's part of my journey. But that's the external element, and the internal is where I am really being like, who is she? Because I swear I just met a different version of me, but already who's these? How am I connecting these two externally? But knowing, and what I always sit on and what always brings me comfort is knowing like, oh, my spirit, my higher self, my true essence is always consistent. And the different versions of me, it's just the external expressions of life and this experience. But the soul is, yes, it's evolving and it's learning to a certain extent, because that's also something that is happening, is in every single lifetime, every lesson, every experience that you go through, you are, should you choose to, learning a lesson that is evolving and unlocking more and more depths and traits and capabilities within your soul's mastery. You are mastering yourself, but in mastering yourself, you you are having to understand, and you've come here onto this physical human experience to understand how to do that. So a lot of those experiences that you have been through that have been like awful and just gut-wrenching, it's lessons to take from that. And that is all part of your spiritual journey and becoming more spiritual, in the sense of you are understanding that there are different dimensions at play, that you are yourself at different dimensions. Not that one is lower, one is higher. You are just at different dimensions, and those things coexist, and you are more than what you see and what you think and also what you feel. So that's really, really, really important. And then the second thing is, a lot of the times your spiritual journey, quote unquote, because again, like I said, you've always been on the spiritual journey, it's ignited, or the catalyst to you awakening and embracing that you are on this journey is through some type of big change or traumatic event. And that can be a breakup, that can be a physical, emotional breakdown, that can be abuse. A lot of these harsher experiences tend to push us into a state where we're wanting to tap into ourselves and seek support of higher realms. And when you're seeking support of higher realms, you realize, oh, I have always had this in me. And you start to reconnect. You've always been connected, but you start to intentionally reconnect with who you want to be, because who you were doesn't feel like you anymore, and it doesn't connect with you anymore. So you go onto this journey of just discovering, like, who am I now? Because everything has changed. What I was secure in before, where there was this relationship, that person's not there anymore. So essentially you may even feel like a loss, and technically it is, because you have that person may no longer be in your life, or they might just show up different, but there's a shift that's happened, there's a bit of a loss that's happened, and it's okay to grieve that. And that is also part of your spiritual evolution, your spiritual growth, is allowing yourself to grieve who you were. Because trust me, like I said in the last point, you are gonna meet several versions of you multiple times. There will be a level, whether you're aware of it or not, where you are almost grieving a part of you, grieving. And a really good example of that is some of the memories that we have may actually be connected to us grieving a little part of ourselves. So for example, in childhood, so for me, I loved my time growing, like in Zimbabwe, playing around and going outside barefooted and not having a care in the world, and just that softness, that vulnerability, that innocence. That is something that as I'm getting older and as I'm healing, I'm reconnecting with and rechanneling, because that was something I felt was lost because of a sexual abuse trauma that happened to me in my childhood. So it's examples like that and experiences like that will, first of all, as a way of us coping, will make us lock away that part of ourselves and disconnect with that part of ourselves. And then part of the journey is not only that happening, because had that not happened, and I didn't want it to happen, trust and believe, I didn't want it to happen. And it's not me saying I condone anything that has happened to you, no, but what I'm saying is part of the spiritual higher vibrational thinking and part of the spiritual journey is knowing that the event itself, and not only was it a catalyst to now being who you are and how you show up in the world. I mean, for me, I went through childhood trauma, which is why I now do trauma-informed therapies, which is why I help people inner child healing, because I had to do that myself. I understand the pains that comes with it. I'm on the other end, and I'm also going through it all at the same time. So turning your pain into purpose is such a divine part of your spiritual journey and how you become more spiritual within yourself. And this brings me to my next point, which is you are never lost. You're never actually stuck. You simply are applying some of the same patterns that you've learned, that have been working and you've been coping with for however many years, and you're just simply expecting a different outcome. And so you're in that cycle. And the great news about that is you can break the cycle. When you're aware that, why does this keep happening? It's different people, different situations, but why am I still feeling the same? Why is the pattern still patterning? The math is not mathing. And that is simply because you are repeating the same patterns and expecting a different outcome. But the good news is you can learn to break it, and you can break it. You can take the lessons from it and apply new tools and keep it moving. And the patterns will change, and you'll be attracting different situations, different people, because you are different. You've broken that pattern, so you're evolved into a different version of you. You are mastering yourself. And the next point being, as you are mastering yourself, the most humbling thing about the spiritual journey is knowing the more you learn, the more you realize, honey, you don't know a goddamn thing. You don't know nothing. The only thing that you know is you are the master of you. No one knows you better than you do. Even you don't realize and know, you may not know yet just how much you really, really know yourself. And you can only master you can't master anyone else, because everybody else is out here trying to figure out who they are, out here trying to figure out how to master themselves. The only person you can master is you hold the knowledge, you hold your power, and you get to choose how you allocate that power, how you transform your energy, your resources, your time to be beneficial to your evolution, to your journey, and to you. And the next thing is all about trusting and timing. And I know it's a bit cliche, you may have heard it. I say all the time, I'm like, divine timing, everything happens for a reason, but genuinely it really does. It's really important along this journey to understand and start to embrace that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You are exactly where you need to be in every single moment, even in the moments that feel, you're supposed to be in those moments. The why, what are the lessons, is then what you get to choose, how you connect and relate to that experience moving forward. Because one of the most beautiful things about our lives is we don't know what we don't know. You don't know yet what you're not supposed to know yet. And you will know when you know. And once you know, you will know. And so please, as you're going through this, it's really key to remove any self-criticism, any of the inner critic, which all really comes from a wounded place that you should know, you should have it all together. Why you're not there yet? Because you're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be there yet. How I am in my 30s, how I'm showing up today at 31, I wasn't supposed to be like this when I was 20, because it's all part of the journey I'm figuring out. I wasn't supposed to be like this when I'm 10, because I'm going through all the different